we started from a base of ignorance, so there was no, it was more clarification and information and knowledge than doubts. Because to have doubts means you already have some preconceived notion, and then you are introduced to something new, so you can have doubts. So in this sense, therefore, we have increased our knowledge of what samatha and vipassana is, and including things like sankharas. We, as a result, have a better understanding of both, and we are more inspired than confused, and we want to learn more. And we hope SJBA and others can conduct organized samatha and vipassana retreats, including in SBS. Also, some of us felt that we have a better understanding of jhanas. Essentially, our group felt that this was a very, very good sutta classes because a lot of us are more into meditation, into dana, into metta, but we never really ever got into suttas because we always think suttas are for the experts, for the renunciants, So I think this is one good example of kind of like letting us all know really the essence of what Buddhism is. Because a lot of times this is going out of the group, sorry. A lot of times is we learn about the techniques, but that is the technology, if you like. And we do not know the science behind the technology. So we are living in an age of science and technology. So in this age of science and technology, the science of the technology of meditation, for example, is Buddhism. So in this sense, therefore, the age of science and technology, actually the Buddha has already 2,500 over years ago discovered about the workings of the mind, which modern psychologists are now talking about it and couch in things like EQ and I think all those other techniques. So in this sense, therefore, I'm very inspired to begin with, okay? First time I really come across seriously about the suttas, though I must confess, I did not put so much emphasis into it because I thought it was the area of the experts.
Now you're part of the experts, right?
I'm expertly confused, that's for sure. But really, thank you very much, to whoever are behind this, and I know all of us are behind this in one way or the other. But it's been great. Thank you very much.
We have decided there's not going to be any confusion, more clarity than anything else. So, number one is better understanding of the processes, the objectives, and the practices of samatha vipassana. Very clear. Number two is we appreciate the importance of sutta references. Number three, after going through the suttas, we could see there are certain gray areas. And this made us adopt a more open attitude towards the practice. There's like no fixed rules. We are not dogmatic about anything. And we are not going to cling to our own views regarding the practice. So it really also ties back up to how we appreciate the sutta references. I remember last week, we have the simile of the garland, where the Buddha Dharma are like flowers, and how we should string them together so when the wind blows, it still takes its shape. So, again, also tie down to our brothers talking about why all this time we do not go back and look at the suttas, and now our faith in the suttas increased because we get to see it.
Can I make a little correction, Victor? You got the simile wrong. Shows that you're confused. The flowers don't refer to the teachings. The flowers refer to the disciples.
Oops. My apologies.
Okay, this is definitely not from the sutta. This is number 4.
Number 4 is I think what we said just now. And also putting us through this boot camp, I think it was quite tedious. Just now the afternoon rating the popular notions against what the canonical notions are. Why not just give us the answers? I guess I really appreciate that Because I know from now on, by referring back to the suttas, having a different attitude towards it, I think the notions that we have there, that we feel out there, hopefully we will reduce from number 4 to number 3 or 2. So I think that's a yardstick. I am definitely going to go home and revisit them and try to make it from number 4 to number 2 maybe, or something like on my own, at least. So it piques my interest in actually going back to the suttas. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much.
Our member says they felt that the workshop has helped and clarified our doubts on Vipassana and Samatha. And we now clearly understand, clearly in the inverted comma, the difference between Samatha and Vipassana based on the sutta study. Because sometimes the sutta confuses us. Okay. We confirm that we are on the right path in our meditation practice according to Bhante Agajita. And then we understand the need to practice both Samatha and Vipassana if we are looking for arahantship. Thank you very much.
Basically, we found it's a well-balanced coursework with details, sutta, commentary review. Samatha, Samadhi, Vipassana, especially Sankara definition, stimulating question from the course book with clear answer, gradual meditating class practices, numerous encouraging simile to simplify our learning, and suggestions such as social media to share, discuss in reminding us to practice meditation diligently. That is a summarize of all. So the detail one, we believe there is a possible shortcut. That means easier way by practicing Vipassana. The commentary has shown that it's possible, so we have to investigate further. So the term is investigate further. Clearer understanding of Samatha, Vipassana based on sutta where I just mentioned. Sutta review were concise and systematic. I think it's very well done. Clear up misconception of Samatha objects. Practice objects are not specified because initially the person have issues about not understanding. Now it's clearer. Have been practicing Samatha, Vipassana without knowing. Now after this course, I think the theory part has strengthened the faith in that person. One-sided bias towards Vipassana without realizing both are essential. Also the benefit of Samatha. Of course, over here as a group, we also allowed some contradictory. There's some contradictory. So here, some said need jhana, need Samatha, or some said need Vipassana. So the last one will provide us the knowledge and understanding on how to progress in our practice. So the first one actually summarized the detail. We appreciate the course and we thank the teacher, Bhante, and thank you very much for all the facilitators who actually work very hard. Thank you very much.
Basically, our group have made a conclusion that after going through this 4-day intensive workshop, we are not confused, inverted also. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely one of it. Before we join in, we are not really into sutta. We just hearsay a lot of things about Vipassana and Samatha. But I think definitely after going through this workshop, we definitely have cleared a lot of our doubts. And of course, we have better understanding now about what is the characteristic, how the processes, all those things. And one of the program that actually is quite open our eyes is the open eye meditation. Actually, we have never think about open eye. Of course, throughout this workshop, it's really stir our interest to want to know more and learn more and try to now start look into the sutta, not like before. Of course, the guidance given by Bhante and also the fellow participant here, I think we definitely have gained something over this workshop. Of course, the last is getting no more friends, spiritual friends. Thank you.
Okay, just now our brother talked about flowers. So our group related to a handful of leaves, the simulation. What is taught by Buddha is just like a handful of leaves, but due to the interpretation and the commentaries, everybody has a different notion of it, and that's why it's so confusing. So we are very grateful that Bhante has structured the course in such a way that it is so logical and easy for us laymen to understand. So, sadhu. So this is the team's feedback. After the course, we can differentiate very clearly what is samatha and vipassana during our practice, especially when it is samatha or when it is vipassana. Secondly, it provides a foundation by clearing doubts for me to commence meditation practice. One of our team members says that she has not experienced really going on a retreat, so this actually is a good foundation for her. So she get everything right. She got to get the direction right. Thirdly, first time hands-on suttas learning related to samatha and vipassana practice. So the course, as I mentioned earlier, is Bhante is very intellectual and very logical. The course is very well structured. And we learned 3 very important things. Number 1, that is, the 5 senses takes object of the present. Number 2, the mind takes object of the past, present, and the future.
And imagination and fantasies.
The mind processes one object at a time. Point number 6. During my practice of vipassana, now I know that I am also practicing samatha, yoked with vipassana. Now I can, when I say I, it doesn't imply me, actually it's referring to our team members. Now I can meditate with my eyes open, which we used to be so conditioned to closing our eyes. And we can now see the benefit of meditating with the eyes open, where actually it minimizes the thoughts that is going on in us. What's very killing in our meditation is a lot of times the sankharas, and by opening the eyes, it really, really helps a lot. So this we will take home and continue the practice. So by opening the eyes during meditation also help us in our daily practice, because how many % of our time are we awake? So that doesn't mean that by closing our eyes and meditate, and after that, just like in retreat, we feel so comfortable. And then after that, when you come up from retreat, whole mess of problems waiting for us because we have lost our composure. So that is something that I learned. Number 8, learn the aim and object of samatha and vipassana practice according to the suttas. And that's what the objective of the course is all about. We also know that a good spiritual friend is one of the factors for stream entry. So like we always chant association with the wise. And lastly, I wouldn't say, one of the guys says more confused, but it's not that. It's a jigsaw puzzle. because of so much information that is being churned out for the last 4 days. Thank you.
We have found out from the course about Vipassana and Samatha. We have better understanding the difference between Samatha and Vipassana. Samatha and Vipassana must be practiced together in order to liberate from suffering. Now we have a clear directive from the suttas about meditation. And one of our Dhamma sister from our group, this is the second time that she practiced in this workshop. And she got a more clear with the theory and the practice of Samatha and Vipassana by listening and watching more slides presentation by Bhante. And the group discussions is able to learn from other participants their perspective on the relevant topics. And realize that some suttas are cut and paste. And now we have right understanding, right thoughts, right mindfulness, right concentrations that leads to Nibbana soon. We hope we can lead to Nibbana soon. Thank you, Bhante.
I come from a group of serious meditators and practitioners. So our overall rating of this workshop is fantastic. Why fantastic? Fantastic because, number one, we have very good guided meditation, especially the open eye meditation. A lot of us have not experienced this open eye meditation, and Bhante was guiding us through that open eye meditation. So now we can apply it to our daily lives. That's one. The other one is better understanding of differences between Samatha and Vipassana. So now we know the difference between Samatha meditation and Vipassana. And the next one is the four paths. Method of practice is clearer, i.e. we can combine Samatha and Vipassana or Samatha alone or just Vipassana alone. Next one is... Sorry?
Vipassana alone? Samatha alone? I don't think I said that.
I didn't say Vipassana and Samatha. There was a slip of the tongue. And then the next one is better understanding of Samadhi. There's different levels of Samadhi that we have learned. And the next one is we know how to reference the suttas to identify points. Now we can refer to suttas when there's any Buddha sayings, we can refer to the suttas to identify whether it is actually from the Buddha. And the last one is, with the suttas, we have to be more careful with the sourcing of the quotes. And finally, we have gained good spiritual friends over these 4 days of workshop, which is very essential for our practice in Buddhism. Thank you.
We've got 10 points here. Out of 7, we gave the opportunity to each of the group members to provide their significant benefit out of this workshop. Generally, we've all felt that there has been a lot of benefit. So the first one is clarity of differences between Samatha and Vipassana. The second one is open awareness, that is the meditation with eyes open, and how beneficial it is for daily activities. For all of us, this is a new discovery. On a personal note, I think this was one of the hindrances for myself in terms of having the eyes open. And I could take this now on towards our daily activities, because from just today's experience, just sharing of experience, from the open eye meditation, when we break for lunch, and as I was walking, I realized that, hey, I could even ask myself, as I'm aware of what I'm doing, as I'm aware of what I'm walking, I could also ask myself, apart from knowing the mind, what else can the mind be conscious of? So I felt that was beneficial. The third one is deeper understanding in practice in Samatha, and this is from one sister who has been practicing Vipassana more than Samatha. Fourth one A brother gave the feedback that he appreciates that now he learned how to analyze the sutta, and generally, whether is it commentary or personal opinion. The fifth one is clear understanding of level of meditations equating to the level of jhanas. So for example, like first meditation to first jhana, second, third, and so on. Importantly also that both samatha and vipassana are important for the path of liberation. So both must be practiced. The seventh one is a sister shared that now she has a broader view of samatha and vipassana practice. There are lots of examples and how-to that she'll be able to use for her practice. And from the 8th, 9th, and 10th onwards, this is generally the group's contributions. We all agreed that we make more spiritual friends. And out of that, from this workshop, we have experienced joy, tranquility, and happiness. And the 10th one is the gratefulness that we have to Pante, Agachita, and the workshop committee with the helpers. So, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Our team thought that now we are better exposed to the suttas. We are able to distinguish the features of samatha vipassana. We are exposed to open awareness meditation. Our doubts are clarified on how to observe thoughts in vipassana. And Sankara is not actually clarified in the root sutta. And lastly, that it takes time and further practice to digest and apply what we've learned in daily life. So there is not really much of no doubts. It's just that there's a lot to digest and take in. On a personal note, I also have seen the realities of the health of the suttas, perhaps, in the sense that we have seen that from cutting and pasting, there seems to be some kind of corruption, perhaps, or deterioration. And perhaps this also reminds us that it is so urgent to meditate or do something or study the suttas right now before they are further degraded, perhaps. So thank you very much, Mante.
In the same group, I would like to add to what Daniel has said. In this particular workshop, I have learned to give 3 bows to the Sangha. The first bow with gratitude, the second bow with respect, the third bow with love. But I would like to add that in this workshop, I have also learned that perhaps I should also give a 4th bow, the bow of expectation and wish. I wish the Sangha members to live long so that we can continue to benefit learning from all the Sangha members. And I also wish the Sangha members would continue with the research so that we can learn more about Sankharas.
I also wish that all my hard work will be rewarded by you putting what you have learned into practice in daily life.
Arahang Samma Sambuddho, 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 Arahang Samma Sambuddho